無限大の地図広げ果てしないディアの場所へ Let's sing on 高く頬を上げて風に乗れ
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Leader Locked. This will be episode 1.5. This is going to be the second match that I mentioned that I ended up recording from locals, but right before I ended up having to leave due to some personal issues that came up. But that's neither here nor there. This match is going to be against Green Yellow Yamato. I can honestly say I've only ever played one of these before this, so this is my second time playing this. So we just finished cutting the decks, deciding whether or not we're going to mulligan. I'm pretty sure we both end up staying on these hands. So now we're rolling the die. I end up getting the high roll here. He ends up getting the low roll, which is a 4. He ends up asking a question whether or not that face was either a 10 or we were re-rolling. I just kind of let him know. Yu-Gi-Oh! Die are weird. They print the ones with the faces as their number one. So anyway, going on into the turn, I decided to go first, as most Magellan players probably do. Very odd for me not having an opening Hannibal here. It kind of sucked, but we end up passing. I end up going into some really cool plays here later on in the game, but I believe he ends up passing here as well. So going into the 3 Dawn turn. Oh no, wait. He ended up playing a Hiyori. Hiyori will you grab the top or bottom of your life and then you replace it with whatever it is from your hand. I don't quite remember the effect off the top of my head, but I do know Kairos and some pudding variants played this for a little bit. He ends up passing back to me. Going into 3 Dawn, I'm pretty sure I just drop a pudding here. As you guys will see in the video I upload this coming Saturday, the new build of Magellan is something I've been cooking ever since going 02. So anyway, I swing 5. I believe he takes it and ends up getting the trigger with the Satori, but we drop our pudding. Once per turn, on my turn, when a Dawn's returned to the Dawn deck, I can basically take that Dawn back and rest it. So we pass on back to him, 3 Dawn turn. I believe he just ends up swinging with Yamato right off the bat for the double attack, which I'm not necessarily going to say no to. I like having somewhat of a card advantage, but this build, I kind of just ended up taking it from scratch. I didn't really do any testing or anything thorough with this. I slapped some cards together, said, hey, this looks good, let's test it. So that was pretty much the extent of my Magellan this past weekend. So I'm deciding whether or not to just go ahead and swing 5 here. I'm pretty sure I have a Magellan in hand. I end up counting the Dawn out just to make sure. He's not familiar with the leader, so he just wanted to read up on it and make sure he understood the effect and what it does. So I go Dawn, rest 5 for Magellan, explaining the effect that when it's played, we both return a Dawn to the Dawn deck. And Magellan will gain the 1 from returning a Dawn. And essentially, pudding will activate, getting me my Dawn back, essentially making Magellan free. Makes Queen free, makes Hell's Judgment free. Anything that's Dawn -1 in this deck is pretty much free. And I wouldn't have it any other way. We swing 6. I do believe he takes. No. Yeah, he takes. So I believe now he's at 2 life. Um, the Sky Island package variant of Yamato's very interesting. Um, I'm pretty sure the other green yellow Yamato build I played before a few months back was a full aggro build, or like a mix between Fortress and aggro. So here he ends up playing the Sky Island Searcher. I don't quite remember what the name of that card is off the top of my head. I had to pick it up to to read it. A lot of the Sky Island cards that were played back when NL first was a thing, before people moved off of it and realized they didn't need it, were a bit weird at the time. So I do believe he ends up taking, what is that, Holly? We'll end up playing it, and he will swing 6. So I will counter for 2. I believe we take this here. He swings 7 with the Satori. Yeah, we take it. And from here, I believe he passes. 7 Dawn. I'm not quite sure what I do here. Or maybe I'm at 6. I don't remember. But he was asking if Magellan's effect lasts for the entirety of the turn. I had to let him know it doesn't. I have a bad habit of leaving the die up there, so my opponent probably does get confused sometimes. That is my fault. I am trying to break that habit, but you know, it's something I've had for a while, and trying to break that is not so easy. So here, okay, now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure I end up dropping another Magellan, so we can get the boost for the leader, giving him +1. Okay, and then we save the 2 remaining Dawn for a Hell's Judgment. That's exactly what it was. Return, we gain 1. But I'm almost positive I don't call Pudding's effect here. There's quite a few times in this game where I realize I don't actually call the effect for Pudding. And, you know, it's kind of the game before this with the Kaido. It's just the small stuff you miss when you're watching a video back or just kind of doing commentary over it. You're like, wow, why did I do that? So it's always good to, you know, if you're playing via webcam or just the sim, record your games, go back through and kind of analyze the board state, see what it is you could have done better in the future, going into next week or whatever it is you do there. But I end up swinging the Magellan into the Satori. And I don't know if I swing again in life. I do. Okay, so he ended up taking 1 from the last turn, so I ended up taking out the Satori and swinging with leader. He activates a Hiyori here, pulling the last of his life to his hand and replacing that card with something that could be of potential value here going into the last stages of the game, or late turns of the game. So here he activates Yamato's effect, giving 2 rested to the Searcher that he played. I think it looks like Wiper, but it's not Wiper. I don't remember what the name of that card is, and it's annoying. I do believe he also gains +2 off of that. So there's several times in here you'll see me kind of remember and try and comprehend what this card does. Sorry for the breakup of words there. Doing live commentary is probably one of the hardest things I'm still trying to learn how to do. So do bear with me while I learn. But we activate Hell's Judgment here. We give -3 to the Holly and the card he just attacked with. So I can easily counter out for 1. And I do believe he ends up attaching the last 2 to Yamato. I don't remember exactly what it is he does here. Yeah, so he swings 7 at Yamato. I do believe I counter out here for 8. No. So he goes for the Magellan. I didn't want to quite give it up, but again, like I said, going back and reviewing this, it's probably something I should have done. those last 2K counters probably could have helped me out, and it would have set him back a turn into playing the card he ends up playing here, I believe, at his next turn. So we're going into my 7 Dawn turn, I think. 7, 8? How many Dawn is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're on 7 Dawn. I do most of my swings into the card he just attacked with. I really should know what that card is. I've probably had ample time during this video to stop and look at what this card is, but I do know when it does have Dawn, or something related to Life or Dawn, he's at +2. So he ends up countering out. So yeah, so I think he's at 7. So I think he gains 7 off of that, so it's +2. And then I have to read the effect to confirm that it is at 7. And so we kind of just go from there. Now we do another 6. And he does another counter for 1. No, so it's at 6. I think it's a 4. Yeah, that's a 4K. A 4K, and he's at 6. He just counters for 1. Got it. Understand now. So now I drop Captain Eustace Kid for the 7 for 8, giving my leader +1 by returning a Dawn, and by a Dawn being returned, Magellan gains +1, so he's at 2. So we swing for 7 here. Now looking at the board state, I probably should have just swung at life. And this is where I regret playing those, countering out with the 2Ks, the Black Maria and the Little Sadie, because he drops a Hody Jones on my head. So he ends up resting my Pudding and the Kid. And I forgot that Hody does gain Rush also. So I'm like, shit. Anyway, we make the best of the situation, and we continue going into his turn here. So he rests 7 Dawn. I do believe he has 1 Dawn active, and Yamato's effect is also live. So he will gain the 2 rested, and he attaches them to the Holly. I will end up taking that life. Kind of disappointed that wasn't a counter, and as you see here, also not a count. I think that was a Hannibal, so it was +1, so he ends up taking the rest of the Dawn. I do want to go ahead and let you guys know I'm not mad at the opponent in any way. I'm just slightly annoyed that the last card from my life was a 1K and I didn't have enough to counter out. And also realizing that this deck slapped together at the last minute was probably not the best idea. Again, not mad at the opponent in any way. It was a great game. And I kind of just, explained my distaste for Hody Jones. Not a very good character. He even agreed with me in the anime. It was a useless character to add. But with that being said, this will conclude the first few episodes for Leader Locked. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Wrath out.